So I've been really enjoying seeing clips of like the actors on actors. And lo and behold, they are doing an actors on actors with Elizabeth Banks and Josh Hutcherson. Girls. Hunger Games girls, we're here. We are ready. I'm just going to jump straight in. I have no idea what this video is going to be like. Never reacted to, or even really watched a full actors on actors thing before. Just curious what's gonna come up. How much are they going to talk about Hunger Games? Like they have to, right? They have to. Yeah, let's just see.
So how fun was it to be able to reunite today and be back together?
It was
very
great.
comfortable
Yeah, yeah.
and very easy. Yeah.
It was nice. It was cool to get catch up on camera.
I know. It was kind of
Just
weird, but yeah.
It was like I kept floating in and out of being like
natural.
I'm like there's lights and stuff, or I'm just talking with Elizabeth. So
We
yeah,
had some crazy, back in the day, crazy, now mostly on the tour, because Effie, I mean, we had a lot of scenes together, obviously, but I feel like, especially in the third and fourth movies, because you were like trapped in that weird,
in a rough state.
yeah,
Yeah.
away from us, we had
Isolated,
to like go get you,
Yes.
rescue you. I didn't see you that much those
No.
last couple movies,
Yeah.
and then we would like go to Paris and Berlin and London and promote the films, and so we got to have a
hang
lot of
out,
fun
yeah.
nights together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were on the set with the first Hunger Games, obviously it was based off of such a huge franchise. Did you know that it was something special when you were filming?
I
that
tried to
first
get the rights to the book.
You did.
That's how
really?
much I loved the book.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I
actually.
read the book and I was like, this has to be a movie. We had read The Maze Runner as well. We were looking for YA and we lost out on Maze Runner. And then I was like, I want the rights to this, and Nina had them already. She had locked them up like immediately. So I knew that the series was super special. Also to read something as a woman that starred Katniss is such an incredible character and role model and heart, and like she's so badass
Yeah.
that I knew there was something in it right away. So yeah, I loved it from jump.
In both of your careers, how important has the Hunger Games been to you and really the audience response throughout the years?
For me, it's been very important. You know, I think that was, it's just like Elizabeth was saying, like the story is so great and Katniss is so beloved and powerful that the fan base is just massive. And so I think taking on a character like Peeta it's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing to get to be a part of something that means so much and means so much to so many people. And I think that it's afforded me so many opportunities. And it's definitely a big part of what's made my career what it is today.
Same. Yeah. I think affording me opportunity is a great way to put what
Yeah.
the Hunger Games
Yeah.
is, you know? And also I made a lot of great friends, and I mean, we had an incredible time.
It's a great group.
It was.
And final question, how excited are you that there is yet another film coming?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Same.
Yeah, the book is so good, and like I was saying to Elizabeth earlier, just the fact that it's Francis Lawrence and the whole team that made the last 4 and 5 movies. It's like it's just nice to have that continuity with a franchise, because sometimes they can like veer off, and all of a sudden it's like just a go make a bunch of money type thing. But the story is so powerful, still so relevant.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
The casting is,
The cast is crazy.
it's out of control how
I
good
know,
it is.
I know. I'm like, and they got whoa.
I know.
Yeah.
And everyone, I mean, just to see that origin story, I think, is very, especially because my character is in that origin story. And so I feel like seeing what they do with it is, and knowing that Francis is sort of like gonna, you know, pull like a through line all the way, I think is really special. Old fans and new get to
Yeah.
come together now.
Yes. Thank you both so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
So fun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was not the video I thought that was supposed to be, but still, I still enjoyed that. So, where is the right video? Oh, it's long. Oh, it's half an hour. Okay. They both look so good. They both just look so good. Why the shit is this so dark? It's so dark.
Hey.
Hi, Josh.
How you doing, Elizabeth?
I'm Elizabeth Banks.
I'm Josh Hutcherson.
Oh, it's so good to see
Good to
you.
see you.
Do you remember how we met? Because
Nope.
I don't remember either.
I remember like the project.
Of course.
It was called The Hunger Games.
It was called The Hunger Games. Yeah, you were Peta
Mhm.
Malark.
And you were Effie,
I was Effie Trinket.
which I actually live on a street near a street named Effie. And every time I drive past it, I'm like, Elizabeth.
Aw.
Yeah, all the time.
I'm psyched to
Fun.
be on your mind.
Yeah, just ding.
My first memories of The Hunger Games, we shot the first one in North Carolina.
Mhm.
I'm sure that I met you on the day that I came. V. Neal, the incredible makeup artist, did Effie's makeup. We had to do for Francis Lawrence, Anita Jacobson, the director and producer, like a show and tell.
Okay.
And Effie was like the hardest. 'cause
She had a lot going on.
She was going to be this representation of the Capitol.
Yeah.
So it was a big deal. As I recall, I mean, we did multiple like different vibes for her.
Speed it up a little bit.
How did you guys
Um,
land on? Was it just like, did you get input into that? Because like her looks were so.
Yeah, a little bit.
specific.
I did, and it was so specific.
Yeah.
I think we were just playing. I mean, it was so fun to be with those people and Juliana Makovsky, who did the costumes in the first one. It was all about those the heels and the
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
into the reaping. So I remember being in the trailer and kind of seeing you guys in the first few days, but then I left and came back because you guys then went into the woods.
Yeah, we were in the woods for a while.
And ran around for
Yeah.
a long
We
time.
were, like painting me into rocks and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's
So I remember coming back and you guys were like this feral gang of young people.
what it felt like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I was like 19.
Yeah.
Like
babies.
it was like that was my I didn't do college, and so like
Right.
college for me was shooting those movies
Yeah.
and kind of growing up with them. But that was so long ago.
I know I felt like your auntie.
Yeah.
I was everyone's auntie. And then I really got to like relax and have fun on the second one.
Yeah.
So there were a lot more adults my age.
Well,
Well, and then we moved to Atlanta.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
was really fun.
we weren't just trapped out in the
We were not in the
forests.
middle of nowhere.
We're in
Yeah.
a Philip Morris tobacco factory. Well,
Yes.
you shot there,
Yes,
right?
I did.
Yeah. That was
And
wild.
Asheville,
Mhm.
North Carolina, right?
Well, yeah, it was like Charlotte and
Yeah,
Asheville. Yeah.
'Cause I remember Asheville was like
Asheville's
very cool.
Asheville was great.
I really enjoyed
I
that.
tried LARPing there.
What the hell is LARPing?
LARPing is like where
Wait, is that where you pretend to be?
you fight?
Yes.
Yeah, you fight with like swords and bows
Yeah,
and
we
arrows.
did that at the end of Role Models. There
Because that's- yeah,
are LARPing
Yeah,
at the
it's
end of that.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
Guys kept like in Asheville. There's just like one main like park square thing in the
Yep.
middle, and like on Sundays, I would just see people like 30 of them out there like fighting each other.
With fake broadswords.
And I think they saw like my hopeful, yearning face, and like one had been downed, and they were like, "You want to try?" I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So I jumped in there. It was
Oh
great.
my gosh, I love that you
Yeah,
were doing like
yeah.
off the books sword play.
Hey, you
Hanging
know,
out.
I picked up some weird skills over the years, so why not put them to use?
What was it like to develop those kinds of? I mean, obviously, The Hunger Games was really life changing
Mm.
for you and Jennifer Lawrence and Liam Hemsworth.
All the
I'm
names.
saying all the names.
Yep.
I mean, we had so much fun on the press
Yeah.
tours.
The press tours were crazy.
They were crazy.
It was crazy. I mean, like it was just such a like a massive machine, and like I don't know, the whole experience. It just feels. It was such a formative time of my life, and we all went through so many changes together. Like not only like age-wise and growing up at that time and getting to know yourself and everything, but then also like being a part of something that is so big and causes so much massive change to your personal life.
Yeah.
And we leaned on each other hardcore. And it was really intimidating. And like I'm from a small town in Kentucky. I started acting when I was a kid because I just liked the idea of making movies. Like fame and all that stuff was never like on my radar.
Yeah.
And then it was just like thrust into that world in
Yeah.
such a big way. It
I
was a lot.
remember being in Paris. We were all out on stage. We'd
Mm-hmm.
been introduced. They were like introducing the movie, and it was like, "Here's the cast," and the audience was like, "Hanifa, Hanifa," and I did not know what they were saying.
Mhm.
And I turned to Jen, and
Yeah.
I was like, "What are they saying?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Jennifer." I was like, "Right."
Yeah.
They're literally just
Of course.
screaming,
Yeah.
"Jennifer,
Yeah.
Jennifer," and it was like
It was wild.
watching like a supernova like take
Yeah.
off, you know?
And I think too, for like a long time, I was like resentful towards it because like I
Really?
didn't want that kind of attention, and like the fact that like personal life, people were taking pictures, people were like
Yeah.
at dinner, you're trying to live your life. Like, that's not a
Right.
thing. I know you've
It's a
obviously
huge
lived with
intrusion
that and,
into your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I was like chip on my shoulder, angry about it. And then with like years of perspective, I just have grown to like appreciate it so much, and to have been a part of something that meant so much to people, that was
Yes.
well done, and to,
Yes.
like the people that we got to work with, the whole cast, everyone was just. It's a really special
Yeah.
thing. And all
I-
these years later, you know,
Yeah,
It's
that
wild.
must have been really hard.
it was weird. Yeah, it was hard.
And you still, I assume, is that what you're most well known for, despite
Yeah.
all the other work you've done?
Yeah, that's the one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, hey, it's not a bad one to be known for.
It's
I'm
pretty
very
good
happy
one.
about it.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
one. Are you excited for the new movies?
I'm super excited.
Me
I think it's so cool to see the new book's amazing, and to see like the cast they've brought together for it's incredible. and to know that it's still Francis Lawrence, and I think they have like the same DP camera
Yeah.
team. Like it's like
I
the
love
whole
how
same
like
group of people
everybody
making them.
reads these books.
It's just cool to see it live on
All
and
the
continue
actors
with a
seem to
different
have read the
generation and
books.
different stories, and still continue to be done with like great quality and not some like odd spin-off that loses itself. Like
I
to have that
totally
same
agree.
vision is very, I
Yeah.
think it's very cool. And like, unfortunately, it's still like a very timely issue with authoritarian governments and uprisings and all kinds of stuff. So young people need to be educated.
Yeah,
Say
I
it.
heard Maya Hawke say, "Yeah, I'm down for being in some anti-fascist propaganda."
Yeah,
I was like,
great.
"Hell
There we go.
yeah,
Let's go.
That's what
Yeah,
we need more
yeah,
of."
totally.
Well, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I know I'm really excited for it too, and I'm excited for the whole team and for new people like my kids.
And Elle Fanning is playing
Me, yeah,
Effie.
I know.
That's cool. Did you guys ever talk or like?
We did a little
did?
bit,
Cool.
yeah. I mean, I was so excited for her.
Mm.
She just got identified really early on by
Oh,
fans
cool. I
as
didn't know
like
that. Oh,
this
that's
is who
great.
it should be, and so then when it was her, I think it
Mhm.
was so satisfying for people, for for the fans of the
Yeah.
franchise and for people. She really is perfect, and I'm excited for her to do whatever she's gonna do with it. You
Yeah.
know, like if I provided any blueprint at all, great. But like it's hers now, and
Yeah.
I can't wait for it to see. I just can't wait to see what they all do.
I'm excited. I'm also. I just want to see like an origin story. Is so interesting. I find, and people like got to know and love the characters, the grown-up versions.
The grown-up
So
versions, yeah.
the older versions. And so I'm excited to see
Me too.
how that all plays out. I just think she's wildly creative. So I'd always wanted to work with her, and so when I Love LA came around as a possibility, I was just over the moon about it. And then the whole cast that came together was amazing. Yeah, she's the best.
And
Yeah,
I feel like you play the straight man of
Yeah.
the bunch, though, like
yeah.
a teacher, like a very grounded
Yeah.
and grounding
Mm-hmm.
presence
Yeah.
You
amongst an
played the straight
ensemble
man.
that's kookadoo, right? Like
It's kookadoo. It's kookadoo. Yeah.
What was that
It-
like?
It was great, and it's a dynamic that I feel like in my life I've experienced many times. I'm drawn to crazy. I just
Uh-huh.
always have been, like Friends, anything. Like I'm just like drawn to something that's wild and unhinged. But I myself tend to be a bit more like
Reserved.
feet on the ground kind of vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think in a show like that, that is giving such a specific snapshot of a world that maybe many people have no contact with, kind of having a character that's sort of way into it.
I know
and
nothing
a
about
bit
this
of like an
show.
audience sounding board, I think is important.
That's really smart.
yeah.
Like this notion that LA is so specific, the
Totally.
world of influencers and the
Yes.
manager, like that's all
Ah,
very
okay.
specific.
Yeah.
Being, 30 in that world,
Yeah.
very specific right now with
Totally.
social media. And that you were sort of like a classic, you play a teacher and just
teaching.
a nice guy. Like we
Just
all
teaching.
understand what that is,
Yeah,
right?
totally. Yeah.
One of my favorite episodes is the game night
The game night. It's a good one.
episode
It's a good one.
where you
That
see the two worlds collide.
colliding.
Sit down because we just drew resource cards, but you can come in on the next respawn.
It's a big game.
I was grabbing you a chair. Here you go.
I was so excited when I read that episode because I'm also like, I don't know how much of like Dylan is me and me is. It all became kind of blended together because I was talking with Rachel and some of the writers too about I have like a not unhealthy obsession, but an obsession with like complex board games.
Oh, let's get into it.
So we definitely influeed a bit of that in that
Complex
night, and they
board
made up this
games
whole
is
game
so
for the
rad.
show, which was
by the way,
fun.
I was what's interesting. So I also love a great board game.
Okay, good.
Like we could go deep on a Settlers of Catan right now,
Okay,
which is what
yeah.
I felt you guys were kind of referencing.
It was in that world. It was
Yeah.
it was a blend of a few things.
When
Twilight
you first started,
Imperium.
I was literally like, "What is this game? Do I
Yeah,
need this
do
game?"
I
And then
need-
I
yeah.
was like, "Oh wait, I think this is a fake game."
Bullshit. That's not real. Yeah, yeah. No, it was not a real game. Dylan kind of tries to like make it fun, and he's like excited for his girlfriend to maybe come into this world and
Yeah.
bring her into it, and she couldn't care less about this world and like my little group of teachers. It was a great episode, just highlighting some of the things that make them maybe not so compatible in a big way. And we had a lot of fun making that episode. And,
Yeah.
and was fun too is we had so many great directors on the show, and they all had really great blocking ideas, which I think is fun. I think it was episode 2. There's like this crazy scene where another influencer got her Balenciaga bag stolen by Odessa's
Yes.
character.
I remember.
And there's this like moment where kind of like running around the apartment and stuff. And our director that day, this guy Bill Benz, showed up with an iPad, and he had like mapped out the apartment and then done like an animation of like movement of characters and stuff. So it was almost like a mapped out
Like,
play
yeah.
thing, and it was just so fun to do.
That's interesting. You don't really hear people talking about blocking very much. So
What was cool in a big way about that show was like the collaboration inside of it. 'Cause when I first came on board, Dylan was like, he wasn't funny. Like he was like meant to only be
Right.
like the clear, like stick in the mud, boring guy.
Yeah.
Which works, and I totally get it. But I think what me and Rachel wanted to kind of build out in him was finding his own ways to be funny, and also to understand like why
Why
they're
are they
together.
together? Of
Totally,
course.
because she's so dynamic and interesting
Totally.
and funny and all these things. And if he's just like, everybody's like, what's no? Like this,
Yeah.
find somebody more interesting than Dylan.
I actually felt, I believed there was like a whole history. I was like, oh, they've been together for a little while.
Yeah.
They're living together. Yeah.
And so I'm excited because we're going to be shooting season 2 this summer. I haven't read a single thing. And so I don't know what's going to happen.
Right, 'cause
Like,
at the
I don't know.
end,
I know.
You
I-
are
yeah.
not
It's
together.
not great.
It's not great.
It's not great. But I love Maya and Dylan together. And I think they they really can help each other. Like I think some of the best couples are couples that need to be more like one another. You know what I mean? Like if someone's too controlling and someone's too out of control, it might be a good couple and they can kind of like slowly work towards
Yeah.
something that's more balanced.
Grow together rather than
Yeah,
apart. Will this couple
exactly.
do that?
And will they? Won't they? Stay tuned.
I'm excited.
And commercial. In The Miniature Wife, which is so great, and you're so good in it. And Matthew McFadyen as well is amazing. It's such a fun show to watch, and the relationship dynamic that you guys have, I find very interesting. And like you've always, I think, throughout your career, I've always seen you playing very powerful, very strong voiced characters, and to then be shrunken by
Yeah.
this man. I'm just curious, like thematically, sort of how that felt with you, and what was it like
Oh,
working with him and building that
themes.
out.
Well, I
Feminism.
love the dynamic. I loved when they first pitched it to me. It was, it felt very like we were going to use this metaphor to talk about some sort of bigger issues, right? The sense of like, what are the power dynamics in a relationship? I felt it was very relatable, actually, this notion of being made to feel small, not just even in your romantic partnerships, which of course can happen, I feel like, but in your business, she feels small in her career, like she doesn't have a voice anymore. She had one and now she's lost it. And like her own daughter makes her feel like small and like insignificant, you know, like a sense of, do I matter to people even? You know, do I have a voice in this relationship? You know, why are all my wants and needs being diminished? And like I'm sitting in the back seat while he's taking the front seat. And like, what does that feel like? And so the idea of being shrunken was just like physically feeling that actual feeling. And I loved that we were going to look at all of that with this absurdist lens on it. I thought that was going to be really comedic and fun. And then I got there, and my husband likes to say that this was the least mentally prepared I've ever been to do a job.
Cool.
Because I didn't really understand how isolated I actually was going to be when I was 6 inches tall, which is that I was on a huge green screen. Like I had my own stage. Like I just had a whole green box.
That's wild.
And I had the dollhouse set. And I was alone. I literally never was with Matthew.
That's wild.
Matthew had a whole set and he went to work at his ML Industries and got to work with other actors. And then every time you see me in those sequences, like I never went there. I was never in the house again. I never, you know, when I'm 6 inches tall, I am alone. And it was
that's
very,
a lot.
it
That's
was
a lot
so
of the
vulnerable.
show too. Yeah. Wow.
I also love this David versus Goliath sense of it because David versus Goliath is ultimately a story about soft power versus hard power, right? Like the physical strength of somebody to just like kill you right now, take you out, versus the soft power of like manipulation, like what being able to push someone's buttons, you having to be more clever than, what does that feel like? And I feel like women have been dealing with that for
quite some
10,000
time
years.
since the beginning. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you're always going to be stronger than us. So what do we have to bring to the table? But then I look at it on the larger scale in terms of like globally and just where we are culturally thinking about hard power versus soft power and the power of people and communication and community and
understanding,
and
intelligence,
all these soft power skills that are not just like I have hammer, I hurt you.
We're
like,
regressing.
what does that look like? And I think it's really a great reminder to people.
I was so happy in the show when you were no longer alone, Tiny.
Me too.
That was like, oh good, she's not alone anymore in there. That was
Me
exciting.
too. Yeah, OT coming was a big. That really helped.
That was nice.
It definitely helped.
Been very successful and have shown another amazing talent, which is directing, with Pitch Perfect 2 and then Cocaine Bear, which was insane and so much fun. What has that been like? Because you've obviously spent a long career in front of the camera and stuff, and getting into directing, like how is that? Did you love it? Do you not want to do it more? Do you want to do like what's? I'm curious because I really want to direct as well. I've done like music videos and like a short film.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
how you
haven't
start.
taken on like a feature, and I'm just curious what that's like for you. Like,
Well,
how
I
does
hope
that
you do
feel?
it.
Yeah,
I do think it makes you a better actor. It certainly makes you a more patient actor because now you sort of understand like everything. I mean, actors, you know, I remember working with Jeff Bridges on Seabiscuit, and he was like, you know, every actor's autobiography should be called "Bitch, Bitch, Bitch," because we do a lot of complaining.
We're good at it.
We're really good at complaining.
Yeah.
But you know, once you've been around as long as someone like Jeff Bridges, and I mean, you know, I'm still here. You do go to set, and you're like, why isn't it this, and why isn't this? And I'm like, oh, I know why. I know actually why everything is the way that it is. I just become a much more patient actor, and actually, I really enjoy days when I don't have to answer a lot of questions, and I just get to take care of the character that I'm there to play that day. And I don't have to worry about, you know, the choreography
Everyone
and the
coming up with
camera
a question,
angles
question,
and the
question.
and like, is this the right thing? And is the hair right? And is the makeup right? It's like I don't need to worry about any of those things. So I actually have really found a lot more relaxation on the other side again, which has been nice after like sort of a decade of directing. I love actors. I
cool.
love being surprised by something.
Yeah.
I love
I
collaborating.
think that really
love the
rings
problem
true to
solving
like
of
some of
it.
the
I
things
love working with the
I
crew.
said
You
and
know,
wrote
it's so creative.
in my like
I
how
do
to
really,
write
really,
an
really enjoy
audition
it. So
script
I hope I
video
get to
and blog
do more of
post
it. I think I will.
that
Yeah.
like
I'm constantly
when
sort of
you
developing things, and
take on
but
more than
I'm at a
one
moment as a
role,
mom. What's
Mm.
you
interesting is
can
the Hunger Games is what
understand it
allowed me to
more.
direct in the first place,
Oh,
because
wow.
having the comfort
Mm.
of like, okay, I know I'm going to be in a few movies
Yeah, yeah. You
over
got
a few
some sequels
years.
lined up. Yeah.
The sequels were
Yeah.
lined up.
Yeah.
This character is working.
Yeah.
Okay, I had my babies
Yeah.
during it, and I directed Pitch 2
That's
during
wild.
it. And it was frankly because, you know, Gary Ross and the first one, Nina
Mhm.
Jacobson, so supportive of like, oh, you have to go and do it. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you have the opportunity, like,
That's
let's
cool.
get you there. You know, let's make sure the shooting schedule is lined up. Like
Mhm.
they treated it with a seriousness that I still to this day am so appreciative.
That's
And
really cool.
you know, it's like I
Wow.
just kind of could breathe a little bit. I wasn't worried about, well, what's the next job and
Totally.
when am I going to work again and how am I going to pay the bills. It was like, that's
Yeah.
handled
That's
because
nice.
Effie's handling it.
Yeah.
So now, like, what else? Let's expand. What else can
Yeah.
we do? And so that time period is really, they say babies also like give you a lot of clarity in life.
I've heard this.
And I
You
felt
can
that.
confirm that that was your experience at least.
Absolutely my
Yeah.
experience.
That's
You're
cool.
like, what is worth time away from my
Yeah.
kids? It becomes more and more rare that you want to spend time away from your
I
kids.
feel that with my dogs currently.
Yeah. You
So I mean, I can extrapolate that to a human and imagine it's even, even more intense. But it is interesting because I do think that like this industry is obviously so wild and it's like so many ups and downs and everything, and
Yeah.
and there is a feeling of that uncertainty between jobs
Oh, this
feels infinite sometimes, and it is like terrifying.
Yeah.
You're always like, at least I am always thinking like, well, it was a good run.
Yeah.
And like I've been doing it for 24 years and I guess that's it. Like I don't have a job lined up. I don't know what's gonna
Right.
happen. And so it can be very stressful. But then like you get on set again and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm home. Like it feels
I mean,
right.
you've been doing this since you were a kid, like literally
I
11?
was 9. Yeah.
9. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's been a minute.
it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I started when I was 25, and
Okay.
we've basically been doing it the same amount of time.
I didn't graduate high school, so I can't do that kind of math. So I don't know. You're
You know what?
32?
I did. I have a master's degree. Still can't do my kids'
Okay,
algebra
good. All
homework. So you
That
didn't, I'm
scares
not sure
me.
you missed out.
The idea of like children, I have to like teach them things.
Oh, no,
I have to
you-
like know how to do their homework. I feel.
Truly, I maybe lasted through like, in math, maybe
Yeah.
like 6th grade, 7th
That's
grade.
impressive.
But
That to me feels
I'm
impressive.
done at that point.
Yeah.
They're going into like, I don't, if someone held a gun to my head and said, what is a cosine? I would not
That's
tell
when
you.
that's when
what-
you're gonna buy a house
That's right.
and you need someone else to back you. Am I
Sine,
right?
cosine. Yeah, that's
That's
one definition of it. I otherwise couldn't tell you what
Yeah.
that. I think it's used in geometry.
Cosine.
You
Not
think anyone
sure.
here knows that?
The good
I don't
news
know. We're all in
is
the
though,
same industry.
my
Isn't that on a
son's reading The Tempest,
calculator?
and I'm
Okay.
like, well, Shakespeare, I can do.
There
Let's
you
talk
go.
about
That's
it.
No.
good.
That's
No,
my game plan now is sort of like see what happens. I mean,
Mm.
the industry is changing so much, so
Yeah.
I find it sort of a really interesting time to be an artist.
Mm.
I'm really interested to see where it's all headed, and happy to be like on the ride of it. To be honest,
Yeah.
I definitely I had that imposter syndrome for a long time, and now I'm sort of like, you'll see, you'll get there too. I'm like, you know, this is actually my career. There's nothing else I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
This is what I do for a living,
Yeah.
and I'm making a living at it, and I'm raising my kids with it, and this is my life. And I've calmed
dream.
down
Mm.
into a sense of I know how to do it now.
Yeah.
I feel much more confident that I can do it for the
That's
long
cool.
haul, and I can see things in the future. You know, I can see being 70 and being Elaine Stritch at the Carlisle and just
That's
doing a
cool.
night and
That sounds amazing.
singing the class, you know, the Great
Yeah.
American Songbook and telling jokes and
Mm.
entertaining people. Like I can see that in my future. I want that
That's
to be
cool.
my retirement plan, which is not a retirement. Like
That's
just keep
great.
working,
Yeah.
just keep entertaining people. I think
That's great.
I think I've hopefully built up enough of good, you know, of a reputation of like, yeah, if you watch me, I promise to entertain you.
You'll show up. Though, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you know, and like
That's nice.
if you show up, I'll show up.
Yeah.
And
That's
I think
cool.
that when you make that agreement with the audience,
Yeah.
I now feel like my signature on that agreement means something.
Yeah. I agree.
So
Yeah.
I feel better about
I know
it.
if I see you in something, you're gonna be great, and that's like that's just like a fact. It's interesting because like as I've been doing this for a long time too, it's like your objectives change and like levels of ambition change and like what's
Yes.
important changes and
Totally.
like you're saying like the balance of finding the thing that's worth being away from your family. Like I totally feel that because I like living life as well and. I think for many years you can get caught in the sort of the rat race
Job
ladder
after job after
totally
job,
and like I
yeah.
need because then I need and then
Yep.
like I've just been around so many people that have gotten it all, the awards, all the money, all the things. And if you're not living your own life outside of that, it's like you're grasping at smoke and it's so elusive and
It's also that what are you bringing to your work,
yeah, totally.
right?
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
what are you? I
Mhm.
find everything cross pollinates.
Mm.
So
Yes.
I'll read a great book and it will it will like, oh, that's actually an idea I can put into this character or this film script, or, you know, oh, the way that they're thinking about something in a piece of art, like moves me in a way that like, oh, that's going to be like
you need
a
to have
weird
experiences.
sense memory that now I'm going to like bring up into something. And
Totally.
I just feel like living your life, I think artists need their lives in order to be a great artist.
Totally.
So
I totally agree. And I think too, like, I don't think I ever took this necessarily too seriously, but there's just like a bit of like perspective that comes with it of like we're doing things to entertain people. At the same time, you want to make things that can be show different forms of empathy or have someone else walk in someone else's shoes. But at the same time, it is a form of entertainment, and like to not. I think some people can get a little lost in the sauce and feel like I thought that Seth Rogen was so funny in the studio, and like
So
his that
funny.
great episode where they go to like the charity thing and he's with the
Oh my
doctors. And I'm
gosh.
just
That's
like,
actually my
it's
favorite
The
episode.
episode's so good. I just feel like I've been around people who
1,000,000%.
definitely are like, no,
No,
we are saving the
we
world.
are caring.
We're the hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are. Yes. Look, that episode, it's interesting to think about the world we're living in, everything that's coming at us, and thinking about like, well, people still do want connection.
Yeah.
I don't take it too seriously, but I also am, I do think that I am part of a long tradition of storytellers that have handed down sort of like humanity over the, you know, there's a reason we still read the Greeks
Totally.
and Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And when we go to museums and look at the art, it's the art that we pass down through the generations.
I rescind my comment. We are changing the world. That was it. Elizabeth just convinced me.
I don't
That's
think
it.
changing the world, but I
No,
do
no.
think the place for entertainment, people want to laugh and they
Yeah.
want to feel connected
Yeah.
and they want to feel like they see themselves, they want to feel seen. I do think there is an essential quality to art that connects us, and it connects us through time and across history. And so this is it. The imagination, I mean, truly being on the set of The Miniature Wife, I've never had to imagine harder.
Yeah, that's why.
I don't know, I feel like a deeper connection to storytelling right now than I think I ever have in my
That's
life.
amazing. I'm so happy for you.
So yeah.
That's so great.
But also like whatever. It's, we're just entertaining
totally.
people. We're like, don't take it too seriously.
We're just cavemen
We're just cavemen.
when you really break it down.
Just telling people stories so that they can see themselves a little better. And like so we can survive.
Totally. And also I think like comedy can sometimes be sort of looked at. I'm gonna like argue against myself right now. Fine. I stand for nothing. I'm just full of hot air. No, I think like in a way too, a comedy I think is sometimes overlooked on like its impact, and people are like, oh yeah, it's great and funny, but it's such a great way, like in The Miniature Wife or many comedies that really find a way to access something deeper through comedy and through
100%.
laughter and through being funny
Yes.
that I think can be overlooked sometimes. Because something like dramatic, it's like
Yeah.
clearly, oh, I can see it. But the subversiveness sometimes of comedy I think is really interesting.
Dave Chappelle talks about comedy as if it's, I think he calls it like the kidneys of culture, something
Ooh,
like that.
okay.
Meaning that there are all these big
Do
feelings
we want
in the
to
world
listen to
about a lot of
Dave
things.
Chappelle?
Yeah.
And comedy is a way for us to process some of those taboo subjects that we don't want to maybe
Yeah.
talk about in our everyday lives
Yeah.
in a way that makes it palatable, where like the comedy allows for things to like go to the edge. You know, the best comedy is transgressive.
Yeah.
It's like it walks the line. It like
Totally.
takes you to a place and then
Yeah.
shows you like the really ridiculous side of things or like, you know, the clown of it. And so when you can do that, it's like, oh, regular everyday people maybe don't cross those lines, but they get to sort of work through those feelings through the comedy. I find I tell people all the time, comedy is so much harder than drama.
Yeah.
I mean, most people
I have been reading an essay
relate to
on
like loss and grieving and crying
the
and all this
jester
stuff, but it's
in
almost always
drama
comedy
therapy.
that pulls you through those really, really hard moments in life.
Totally.
I think helps you process through some of those great comedy, timing and making people laugh and doing it, sustaining it
Yeah.
over, you know, a chunk of time. I think that is so much harder.
I
than
totally agree.
Doing drama.
Yeah.
This has been such a
I
fun
know.
delight getting to see you.
You too. I was
again.
so intimidated with all this stuff going on, and then we just like got
No,
into it.
I know.
No, it's been super
felt
nice.
it's so nice, and
Yeah.
I love watching you
Oh, thank
from
you.
from afar. We don't get to see each
Yeah,
other. You have a
I
girlfriend
know.
in Spain.
Yes.
We're always working, never in the same
it's
place.
never
We're always doing this, but
classic
I
tale.
think
Yeah.
you're the bee's knees, and
Oh,
I
thank you.
love that we got to spend this
Yeah.
time together today.
Me too. It's been you're
Great
the
to
best.
see you,
yeah,
Josh.
I was so happy. Good to see you, Elizabeth. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Well, okay then. What did they even say at the beginning about Hunger Games? I don't fucking remember. I was sitting here so long. Obviously, they promoted some of their recent work. Duh, that's what all this is about. I might check them out. I don't know. I haven't decided. I think The Miniature Wife might be something that would be watchable with my mum / my mum and her partner. So might bring that one up to them. We're currently watching A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I saw the season 2 was coming out and I was like, oh yeah, I never watched that. But yeah, it was I think it was really interesting. It seems like a lot of the people involved in the Hunger Games films all seem to have read the books, and I think that's really interesting because a lot of it just doesn't seem like a lot of people do read the source material, or at least they don't talk about it. You know, like I don't really hear of a lot of other actors talking about, oh yeah, I read the book for X, Y, for whatever they were doing, particularly like any of the other dystopian YA things, but then I haven't looked into those things as much. You know, a lot of the cast for the current film have read the book. They've both talked about reading the books, the original and the new one. I think it's really interesting that Elizabeth Banks was like, we need that. I need the rights for that film. It's really nice that at least a few people in that in the original films can understand and appreciate some of the political context and relevance, both probably back when they were originally coming out, but also like this one is coming out. The way that Josh was talking about those things was really appreciated, I guess, because it's one thing saying stuff generally in interviews, or like on your own social media or whatever, but like in something as, I don't know, as big and prestigious as Actors on Actors has become. Maybe he said it because he knew that Elizabeth Banks was on the same level. Because yeah, even later on, talking about their own projects, talking about the cultural relevance of those projects, and also some of the people who were involved with those projects, other things they've done. Yeah, I don't know, very interesting. I think as well whatever, I've forgotten what it's called, the small wife, miniature wife. That's the one. I would have expected that to be a film. It feels very film esque. I am a bit surprised it's a show, so I definitely am interested to see what that format is like for that particular genre of story. Yeah, I don't know. It was cool to hear as well a bit more about Elizabeth Banks directing. And like I said, it was relevant to stuff that I've said before in like a past video that I also made into a blog post, how to write an audition script when you're auditioning people for your project. Because I found that when I was more so heavily pursuing acting, a lot of audition scripts just were not fit for self-tape purposes, and I think a lot of that is down to the fact of a lot of the people either like writing them or putting together those scripts are not the actors or haven't been the actors. They're very much more the film student route rather than the drama student, acting student route. So hearing her as well in the industry, how she's gone into some of these other roles, and how it's actually made her enjoy the acting part a lot more and be like, oh, actually, now I understand why these things are like that. So I'm just going to relax into this role of just coming here and doing my bit, being my character, and then going the fuck home. See ya. Then also what they were both saying about, they were kind of going on about like the work-life balance, but also how that feeds into your creativity. And yeah, this is something that I say to a lot of people generally, especially anyone who's trying to pursue acting or writing, anything that involves storytelling. You need to go and live a life. You need to go live a life, have experiences, go and meet people and do things, consume a lot of media as well, read stuff, consume things you like, you don't like, try new things, consume things in different ways, just to like experiment. And if you don't try new things, you'll never necessarily find the thing that's meant for you, but also you'll never develop your own skills. and you won't develop your own taste either. I think that's something that, like, whilst I love, this is one of the few things I do love about algorithms, or was loving about algorithms before they started to go to shit. But like, I did love that I could basically feed my taste to like social media algorithms, or like certain, like before Vinted and Depop got really shit with their algorithms, you could kind of feed them what your style was and what you were looking for, and it would then show you more things of what you were actually interested in or similar things, and you could be like, hi there. And obviously this is all for capitalism purposes, but it was also the same on Instagram or with YouTube videos and things like that, that when you were feeding it what you were actually enjoying and things that you actually wanted to see or see more of, or the inspiration of things, and Pinterest as well in particular, it could show you more things similar to what you've been looking for, and you could be like, oh yeah, amazing. And whilst it would make it a little bit easier, it wasn't completely removing the work and wasn't completely removing your self's ability to create style. Oh, that was it. Like, that's what I loved about Spotify's algorithm. I would often get served songs I really liked I'd never heard of before. Fuck Spotify, boycott Spotify, fuck AI, fuck drones, fuck genocide, all that shit, free Palestine. And I'm really mad about it because it was a really good streaming service until they've, one, fucked it up with AI, and two, were just terrible. Fuck them. But like, it would serve me more music that was similar to things that I was listening to at the time, and I would then find more things, more bands I liked, particularly smaller bands that I would never have necessarily found. And I am a little bit peculiar as ADHD autistic when it comes to music. Like, sure, I do have like my music from like being a teenager. I could almost always go back to that music and have like a fucking slay time. However, the reason why I did have Spotify for so long is because I did really like that ability to access music like that. And also creating all those playlists. I loved creating playlists for my works, like my novel ideas. So they would be very like character or story based songs, and you could kind of find more songs based off of the one playlist. But yeah, like, it's how I found a lot of musicians that I really liked. I'm not sure I would have necessarily directly discovered without maybe some help from an algorithm being like, hey, we noticed you listen to angry political music. Here's some more, and like, that's what I used to love about TikTok's algorithm, again, before they fucked it with the TikTok shop. And that's kind of what I now use sometimes with the Instagram Reels algorithm. Like, they both used to serve me small bands, so like that was another way I would then search those bands on like Spotify and stuff and add them to things. But like, these apps were learning my music tastes, or like different kinds of music that I was liking. I don't know what the fuck my point was with this. What was I saying? I don't know. It was something about taste and living your life and, doing stuff. I have no idea. So yeah, and I mean, I think both of them are quite similar in a way that they've had quite interesting and unique careers. Like, I find that Josh Hutcherson tends to go for a more, or has done as well, particularly in the past, before he kind of came back into the public eye quite so strongly, but like a lot more of the indie films kind of realm of things, kind of weird roles. I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's is kind of a really bizarre film franchise to be in, and I find that Elizabeth Banks's characters are like, she usually plays characters, so I feel like Josh Hutcherson often plays some guy in just like a fucking mental situation and Elizabeth Banks plays like a highly strung, unique, quirky kind of woman, not necessarily always in insane situations, but definitely occasionally, like the miniature wife. But I feel like, yeah, they both have had much more interesting careers than I think some popular actors that we see these days. A lot of them tend to just go for the same things, you know, Marvel over and over and over again, or just like films made by, you know, Netflix that have no heart or soul to them at all. And they just feel very bland and nothing. And it's just, Millie Bobby Brown, hello. I'm looking at you. Also looking at you, Jenna Ortega as well. Also looking at you. Everything you guys have been in sucks. And I think there was a point in there that was quite interesting. Elizabeth Banks mentioned about Maya Hawke saying that she was interested in being in more anti-fascist propaganda, i.e. the Hunger Games films, Sunrise on the Reaping. And I've seen people like arguing about this quote as if like it's not possible for this film to also be anti-fascist propaganda. And it's like, look, man, yeah, most of Hollywood are Zionists. We know that. These films were made by a lot of Zionists, I'm pretty sure. Like, people talk about that all the time online. We have seen Jennifer Lawrence publicly switch her opinions very recently. And also just Liam Hemsworth sucks ass. He sucks. But the core material still exists and is still carrying a meaning. Like, that's what art is for. Art is to continue making and producing stuff that goes against the grain, but of course, like, there's gonna be art that is profitable. And of course, anti-fascist art at the moment is profitable. Nobody's surprised. That doesn't mean it's not anti-fascist. I mean, I think the reason why these books and the films have been so popular is because people willfully misread them, much like any text or media. And I mean, I don't know if I would personally go as far as saying that I don't know. I'm not sure if I would call the Hunger Games anti-fascist, but also would I say it's not anti-fascist? Maybe not, because you know it is literally against a dictator being in charge. So it's just kind of a softer version that's more palatable for children to read. Children, young adults, even though I love reading and rereading it, I'm on Catching Fire at the moment in my physical rereading with my eyes. But I don't know, I also just like the fact that they were both talking about that and talking about those things openly, because they are cisgender white people who are most likely straight, even though Josh has been a little bit evasive about that at times. He's like, I'm mostly straight. If I fell in love with a man, slag, you know. I think I'm mostly straight though. You know, he's like, doesn't he answers the question more than some people. But like, you know, as two cisgender, probably straight white people with a lot of money and like decent standing in Hollywood, it's good for them to be having that conversation, particularly on such a large platform like the Variety Actors or Actors, even if it is only in little chunks. It is good to see celebrities talking about those things. I'm not here for celebrity worship. I'm not here for, you know, relying on celebrities to enact change, but I am aware of the reality that they do hold a lot of power in their positions, and the fact that they are talking about those things with their platform is a good thing. Because I mean, you know, when you see like Ariana Grande post literally just a fundraiser for Palestine on her stories, and it gets millions of donations. Because of it, you know, when you have that status and that platform, you have power. And I mean, that is literally kind of what the whole point of the Hunger Games is saying. That, you know, Katniss and Peter had power that normal people didn't have, even though that they were trying to be used and puppeted with threats to themselves, each other, and people they cared about. All of the victors had more power than the average person in town. Plutarch had more power. Cinna had more power. You know, all these people who were involved in the Hunger Games, involved in capital life, had more power to do something. It was important for them to say something, because that was the whole thing. What kicked off that revolution, sure, was Katniss defying the rules and saving them both in the first book. What really kicked things off in 11 on the victory tour partly was Peter literally giving the families of Thresh and Rue like a month of their winner money as a thank you for their children's like allyship. But then also what Katniss said afterwards about Thresh, but mainly Rue, and thanking everybody for sending her the bread as well after Rue died. And then the group punishment that Snow decided was a good idea. Well, Snow or Plutarch, I feel like that was like maybe a debate. We're not really sure who decided it was a good idea to put all of the victors back in as the 75th Hunger Games. It's unconfirmed. I think the films had a deleted scene showing that it was Plutarch, but generally it's unconfirmed. And, you know, that then kicked it off for a lot of the victors and some of the higher up, or like the districts in higher standing, because it's like, well, you've been telling us if we win, we can relax now. But you're now picking from us, especially a bunch of them that have been around for a while. Like, oh, we're like your capital citizens' faves, bitch. I'm not sure they're going to be too happy about that. And again, I've gone off on another tangent. I don't really know how I got there. Yeah, just generally talking about politics and fascism on a platform. Good. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know what's going to end up of this video. I'm not going to lie. That was a long video. A lot of it I don't really have a lot to say, so that'll be cut it. But I was excited for this and I wanted to see it and I wanted to talk with you about it in case there was anything interesting, and I think there was some interesting things in there. Let me know what you think of the interview, if there's anything else that you think was interesting that I didn't really discuss, because obviously I've only watched it the once. It was so long. I don't know, I kind of just thought it would be a little bit shorter for some reason. I don't know, but yeah, happy to chat some more about some of the points in the comments. Don't forget to check out my other videos about the Hunger Games books and films. I'm slowly showing you piece by piece my autistic hyperfixation special interest of the Hunger Games. I'm bearing my soul to you. You're welcome. I don't know. Anyway, that's my video for this week. Like I say, go check out my playlist with other videos about the Hunger Games or Hunger Games adjacent things, I guess now. And I will see you in my video next week. Bye.